Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast. Senior night came and went. The Aztecs got a big victory. We're going to get into all of that, the implications of the win, what it means for our Aztecs moving into the Mountain West tournament. Of course, we're going to preview the tournament and get into, well, we'll see if we could get Mike's camera going. I don't know what happened to it. He stared at it too long, like I said, and he may have broken it. So we'll try to get that figured out. Stick around for another couple minutes. We'll be right back.
This wins.
You just need guys to hit timely shots.
McKinney counts, and he's going to get an and one. This is Heidi, 6 seconds.
Come on.
Good move. Heidi strong.
Making George Mikan proud. He's going to be one of the good ones in an Aztec uniform.
And McKinney flies to the hoop and scores.
That man's a born scorer.
Aztecs off and running. Davis. A 9-0 run for San Diego State. Aztecs up 10. Ends it over 3 minutes scoring drought is an explosive slam by Compton on the other side. Getting to the basket and converting from long range. Boyd trying to add to it here, and he does!
And Nevada needs to learn how to pass the ball to the team in the blue jerseys.
De Gorville to Bird, a layup and one!
I know you're scoring. Get rid of it.
Jared Coleman Jones, yeah, he can shoot the three.
Play Heidi. It's not that he's doing anything wrong. There's just no opportunity there, and he's taking advantage of it.
And knocking down the three! Miles Heidi, first and seconds. San Diego State, coming off the loss to UNLV, had to make a statement tonight. And statement they have. 80-61, wire-to-wire, Aztecs seal senior night.
Everybody contribute, getting us to the dream. Dreams become reality, reality is wine.
I'm an Aztec warrior. Ah!
Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast. Of course, senior night in San Diego at San Diego State is it's an awesome night. It's a time where a packed Viejas Arena gets together and honor seniors for all their accomplishments, whether in the classroom or on the court. And Saturday night was no different. It was a memorable time to honor guys like Ryan Schwartz, Desai Lopez, Jared Coleman Jones, Wayne McKinney III, DeMarshe Johnson Jr., and of course, Kimo Ferrari. And it was a great time. But once that ball is tipped off, it's time to get down to business. And the Aztecs had a lot of business to take care of. They pulled off the 80-61 victory over Nevada, who looked like they had no heart left. They didn't want to be there. So what does that mean? Well, it means a lot. The Aztecs are in position now to play for the third time in the Mountain West tournament, Boise State. And it's not going to be an easy task. And tonight, our live stream has not been an easy task.
Mike!
From East County to East Tahoe, and apparently they don't have internet up in Reno, Nevada. What's going on, Mike? Can you hear me okay? Can you see me? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know what's going on, dude. The video's just not working, so it's just, hey, it's God telling us we're going to go without a video tonight for me.
You got to make things happen. I appreciate you joining us and lending your awesome pipes for this episode. And we're going to get into all things. So appreciate you.
We won last night.
Oh, did we? Did you watch?
Yeah. I had a chance. Cody came over and he like we always watch the games together, Cody and I, right? And we always apparently get in trouble for whatever reason. So, but I told him before the game, I said we're either going to win by 1 or 19. It's not. And then we ended up winning by 19. He kept saying 19. I was like, what is he talking about? I forgot it. He's like, you said 19. I'm like, oh, that's right. Yeah. So, hey, 2 19-point wins against the characters up here. So it's a good sweep of the season. At least we got one sweep in Nevada this year. So
Poor Cody. Poor Cody. My heart bleeds for his wolf pack. They're in rough shape going into the Mountain West tournament. It's all good though.
Yeah, there's something going on there, but whatever. That's their problem, not ours.
Yeah, I feel you on that. You cannot stop this man. You can only hope to contain him. What's going on, SD Sports fan? Good to see you with that Goonies shirt.
Yeah, great game last night. Really enjoyed it. A lot of fun. Great way to send the seniors out with a convincing win that we absolutely needed over Nevada. It was fantastic. What a way to close the regular season at Viejas Arena. And now we get to go to Viejas North next week.
Yeah. The season is over, guys. The regular season is done. 2024, 2025. The Aztecs, boy, they finished. How would you say? We didn't cover the UNLV loss, which was a bummer. I mean, I think that really put everybody in a little bit of a tailspin, right? Because once you see that you get swept by UNLV, hadn't happened in over a decade. It was a little cause for panic. I know I wasn't happy about it. We didn't record. It wasn't something we were going to do midweek. Life's been hectic for me. I know with you guys, it's always busy as well. So that was a bummer. But, when you end the season the way they did, dominating Nevada, I don't know if it's going to provide like crazy momentum going into the Mountain West tournament, but the season as a whole, the regular season as a whole, what's one word that you would use to describe it? I mean, for me, I guess I would probably say, and I've gotten a lot of responses on X, which was pretty cool. And I would just say, I hate to say it, youth. A lot of youth. Not an excuse, but it's just something that I kind of keep pointing to when I look at the end of the season and how things went down. Fane, you got any other words of choice?
No, I think that accurately describes this team. Very young, very inexperienced, but super talented. And we've seen that in the wins. We've also seen, the downside of that in the losses with all the youth. I'm really excited though that we got that win last night. So I think it does provide momentum going into the Mountain West tournament. You got to be feeling good about this team going into a Boise team that we have swept convincingly in the conference schedule. So I think we match up well with them. I think Boise will get into the game, but I think they may give us some difficulties because of not having Goon, or the likelihood that we won't have Goon for the Mountain West tournament.
Yeah, and like I said, we're going to get into the Mountain West tournament, the bracket, our matchups, everything, our outlook, all that good stuff. So, let's kind of put this Nevada game in its proper place, right? It's one game. It is what it is. Mike, who I don't want to ask you who stood out to you in this game, but give me your thoughts on the season as a whole, because we'll get to your thoughts in just a second on the game. But as a season, do you have a word or a thought?
I don't know if I have a word because I'm not typically just a one-word answer guy, but how do I put this? Well, let me paraphrase this. We've had 19 straight years with 19 plus wins. We have one less loss in conference play with 2 more games than we did last year. So to me, it's like the usual, bro. Like, we need to understand we're not going to go 17-1. We're not going to go 18-3 every year. So everybody just needs to chill the fuck out and just appreciate what they are and who they are. And they still went 14-6 in conference. They just had other teams that had great years. And so you can't expect every year to be a great year, but we still went 14-6. We had 21 wins. Like, I feel like, and you know how I feel about this. I guess give you guys a hard time about this, but we went 21-8 and everybody's like, the sky is falling. Right. Like, come on, dude. How many teams, look at UNC's first 4 out, all these teams that are typically there. The NIL is not the same and it's changed the dynamic of the sport, and I get that, but it hasn't changed us in terms of what we do and where we are, right? And so it's like we need to put perspective into perspective and realize we lost our best player. He didn't play all year. Our second best player for the most part, or more, I don't know if you call him talented or whatever. Magoon hasn't been out. We went 3-2 without him, right? Miles is a fantastic player, but he's still getting consistent. Let's just be honest. He's a great player, unbelievable player. Nick had a game, he was great to start, then he had kind of a lull, and then he's turned it on. So, like I always say, sports replicates life. Not everything is going to be perfect, and how you navigate the waters of getting to where you need to get to is where we're at. 21-8. I mean, how many teams in the country would love that against our schedule, which was like we were 7-2 in the 9th hardest non-conference schedule in the country. Like let's look at what we did positive instead of looking at what we did negative. And yeah, we had some tough games, but 21-8, man. I mean, come on a team that you don't have your best player, and how the coaching job you have to do to get to know at some point these guys knew before everybody else, hey, Reese isn't coming back. Like we knew that, right? So, but they knew it probably. I don't know when they knew it, but like they still stepped up, played well. There were some mental errors, whatever mental errors. They 21-8, man. Like just like last year was whatever it was, and then like 17-1 a couple years ago, and 14-3 in conference. Those are years we have, but we also have to appreciate that it's not going to happen every year.
So in other words, Mike says, stop your complaining. This Aztecs team is just fine. This program is just fine, humming right along. And you got to give coaching their credit. They've dealt with this youth. They've dealt with all the inexperience, the injuries, all that stuff, and they've rolled the dice in certain areas and really made this team. I mean, you could say 4th in the Mountain West, but as we're going to get into the bracket, we're going to show that 4th in Mountain West it's very different compared to the other Mountain West teams on the bracket, right? It's not the same just because we're in 4th. These things don't add up. So I feel you, Mike. That's good stuff.
What was our what were we last year in the Mountain West tournament? What seed were we?
We were 5th.
Well, there you go. Better than last year.
Yeah, no, and I 100% agree with you, Mike. We were picked 4th this year, I believe, in the preseason, and that's with Reese. That's with the media and the coaches believing that Reese was going to be playing. I think he was at the media event before it came out that he was injured and he wasn't, that we knew that he wasn't coming back. Remember, the expectation was he was going to be back like sometime in like mid-December. Remember that? Or like beginning of January. So not having a guy who was an preseason all conference player, the only one on the Aztecs, and to not have him, and then to finish 4th. I mean, look at Nevada. They were picked to finish 3rd. They finished 7th. They've been a disappointment, and so I think Boise, they were picked to win it, right? And they finished 5th.
So. Yeah.
And so I think, we definitely met expectations. Absolutely 100%. And there were some revelations that we had about this team. I mean, we knew Magoon was good. We didn't know how good he was, though, because he had never played. We didn't know how good the freshmen were, right? They've stepped in and contributed really well. We didn't know how good BJ Davis was going to be. He's been fantastic. And so, there's a lot of positives that you can take away from this season. I think, there's this feeling, though, that like because we were so close in a few games that it could have meant, we were either 1st or 2nd in the conference, conference championship. And we were right there. But, because of the youth, which you would expect, we made some slip ups here and there. And we are where we are. But I think we're in a good position. And I look forward, to the Mountain West tournament. Even if Goon is not going to play, I'm really excited with the way these guys are coming together. If they play the right way, if they play the way that they did against Nevada.
Like I just look at things like that. Like here's an example, right? I went to a little girl's birthday party with my daughter today, and they had a snake guy. Which snake people are complete. I don't know about snake people. Like they're different dudes, right? And the guy who was with the snakes ended up. He was from San Diego. He went to Christian High. He played basketball at UNR, and so we started talking and stuff like that. And he had this reticulated python, which I don't like. I'm not a snake guy. Like, I just never liked them, right? And so everybody's putting the snake. It's like a 6-foot snake, and I was like, I gotta get over this fear. I want to do it, right? So I was like, hey, can I put it around and take a picture? And as soon as I said that, the snake turned his head and looked at me, and I was like, fuck this. This is I don't know. Absolutely not. The next girl who put the snake on, it pissed on him. The mom. So it's like you gotta you look things in perspective is like, hey, look at how lucky I got. This is a wild analogy, right? Look at what you got, it as opposed to what you didn't get. You know what I mean? Like I could have been the one getting peed on. It's better be pissed off than pissed on, right? So it's I'll show you the picture in Vegas, but like to me that's like you look at how it's the perspective, not perception, right? So this is kind of a wild, like I've never like you getting peed on by snakes, wild, right? You know, because they're like, are you gonna get constricting me? And it's like it's crazy. It was a beautiful snake, but I was like, dude, I'm not a snake guy. So like let's look at it like that. You know, hey, I could have gotten the snake and he could have peed on me, but I didn't, and I passed and he got that. So look at San Diego State. They could have won these other games, but they didn't. But they're still where they're at with a 21-8 when you have kind of a letdown against Utah State, twice against UNLV, which happens once every decade, right? And then, you know, you just had a bad game here and there. So you can't I guess my point is focus on the good, not the bad, because if you're wallowing in the shit all the time, you're going to come out dirty every single time.
So let me ask you a question. Are is SDSU you and Nevada is the girl that got pissed on?
No, I don't know. I don't know really where I was going with that. I just thought it was neat. It's fresh recency bias. But like, how many people can say that like a snake peed on him, right? And so obviously from now on we're gonna call her the snake pee girl, right? She's cool and stuff. But Nevada wouldn't be like snake peeing on Nevada, right? I guess you take from that analogy what you will. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Vegas so very much this week. I'm very much looking forward to this. Okay, on that note.
Hey, 5 minutes in, we're already off the rails, boys.
Yes.
We're back.
Gotta love it. Okay, really quick on that note, just want to say a big thank you, of course, to Angelica for her super sticker before we even started the recording. I appreciate you, Angelica, for your support. And I knew I seen him in down here somewhere with the gold mark. Our good buddy Quinn Thomas. Thank you so much for the super, man. Appreciate that. He says, I'm rooting for y'all. Hard to make the NCAA tourney. It's hard. It is tough. He says, I think y'all make the Mountain West Championship, but he says we're gonna lose to Utah State in the championship game. So we'll get into that. We'll get into that, Quinn, for you. We'll get into that.
We should see if Quinn wants to come out for a game. We should get Quinn out to a game next year, man. I mean,
next year maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be dope. We'll get into that though. We'll get into that. So let's tie a bow in the season. I feel like Mike did a great job of giving us perspective. Snakes and all, snake piss. But okay, so for one night, for senior night, just to breeze through the box score, give you guys a little look. Nick Boyd with 18 points. He's been on one for the last month or so. He's really been stepping up. And who do we see next? Miles Heide with 14 points, man. What an outstanding game. 6 rebounds. Even had 2 assists to throw in there, and just offensively looks like he's coming around, getting the opportunity, making the most out of the opportunity with Magoon sideline hampered due to that knee issue. It's great to see with Miles, man. I mean, I love the aggressiveness. I love the one thing we're seeing with his development, and listening to the post game Coach Dutch talking about that development. It's like one thing you see is obviously he's getting more confidence in those one-on-one opportunities, right? The little moves, the foot movement, the footwork, the quickness. And the free throw line, I mean, geez, knocked down 2 of them back to back. That, I can't say I've seen that before. So really, really awesome to see the young man stepping up and flourishing in that opportunity, and really just taking upon himself to do what I think he knows he's capable of, always been capable of, but it's just different at this level, right? And I mean, he had to go through it last year out playing against UConn and as a freshman in the tournament. You got, of course, Big Lady right there roaming the paint with you, so you can kind of learn some things, kind of ease into there. And then this year, with all the injuries, he's stepping it up to making the most of his opportunity. Anybody got anything about Mr. Heidi?
He's making almost every shot he takes. I mean, his post moves are beautiful, and he's finishing at the rim in the paint. I mean, giving us great efficiency, scoring the basketball, and then to hit a 3. Like, I didn't know Miles Heidi was a 3-point shooter. Wow, that was surprising. But just 14 points. This is, I think, the guy that we thought Dutcher had recruited when Dutcher had made a personal visit up to Washington to go visit him, which he doesn't do for all the recruits. And, he really wanted Miles Heidi, and now we're starting to see that form. And I love the quotes that Dutcher said that, yeah, he's young. He's had his ups and downs. We saw it in Swiss League, when he was having some difficulty there, and then it carried into the beginning of the season. But Dutch said, look, he's right on track. He might even be ahead of schedule where he thought he would be. So I'm really excited for his growth and his future. And, if we can keep him in an Aztec uniform, he's going to contribute a lot for us.
Definitely. Mike, should we get into your segment, dude? Is this a good time, you think?
I mean, we're already, whatever, dude. Let's go. I mean, we're gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I do want to talk about this, keeping people at some point, because that really fucking bothers me.
Okay. So we're having a little fun. We're gonna get into some Fenalytics in a few moments, but right now, with Mr. Mike, I like to say we're gonna have Mike's top 3 segment. We're trying to make this a weekly thing. So hey. Mike's top 3. What you got, Mike?
So we're gonna do in honor of apparently Miles did hit 3s in high school, and that was something that Dutch said that he was part of his game. And as you say, Fiend, that bigs take a little bit longer to develop than guards. So, he's gotten better. He's taken a leap since Magoon has gone out of that of the starting lineup, and I think that's only going to help us. I mean, by the way, real quick, DeMarsha had a pretty nice game too. That was, I'm glad to see him getting some run. So in honor of Miles hitting that 3, we're going to talk my top 3 white San Diego State men's basketball players. We're gonna go James Rahan at 3, because I like that dude because of his tenacity. Shrigley is 2. I mean, Shrigley was a beast, dude. Like, he was, you know what I mean? And then number 1 is obviously Milky. So that is, I'm sure everybody's going to talk so much shit to me in Vegas. but this is kind of
the top 3 white guys.
Matt, I had another idea for thing, and Matt's like, no, we're going. This is the route we're going. You know what I mean?
Top 3 white guys. Aztec basketball.
So, and it's those are my 3 top white.
That's not a bad list, man. That's not a bad list. Solid. You got any objections to that, Fiend? You got any objections?
I mean, how white are we talking about, though?
No, white. Nothing. No, pure white, dude.
Okay. Because, I mean, like Jordan Shackle, his dad is white and his mom is
Yeah. But that was a discussion we had about, what is the parameter?
Like as white as me, basically.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think that is a pretty good list. I can't think of anyone else that is really that I would choose. Oh wait, no. You totally missed. You missed so bad on this.
Only played 1 year. He's not on the list because he's only played 1 year.
Who's that?
Wetzel.
See, yeah,
that's only 1 year.
That's tough.
Sorry. He'd be in my top 3.
That's my
Wetzel
list.
Pretzel would probably be number 1, actually.
That's my list, and the only reason he's not there is because it was only 1 year. Rayhan was there
yeah.
4. Strigley was 4. Melky, I don't know how long Melky was there 4, right? He won a natty, right?
Yeah.
But to me, I thought about Wetzel, and I had some discussions, and I'm like, he was only there 1 year. So, yes, he was great, but could he have been in the top 3 if they would have gone deep in the tournament? Maybe. But to me, those are my 3 top guys, just because Wetzel was only there 1 year, and we all know how great Yanni was.
Yeah, Wetzel. Yanni was a beast, man. Yanni was a beast. Very, very hot topic.
Yeah,
bring it back to Heidi though. Bring it back to Heidi though, because
Oh, bro, like I've liked him since I watch him play, and I'm like, there's something there. There's something there. He just knowing you're good and doing what you know you can do. Sometimes it just doesn't line up just yet, and you hear all these guys that we've interviewed come in and be like, wow, dude, I really got to step my game up in practice, right? When we talk to Jeremy, we would talk to DJ, pretty much all of them. Hey, Winston, dude, I gotta step my game up here. So I've always said that you look at guys in you look at guys in, AAU ball, right? Or whatever it is. I don't know the parameters. Anyways, we'll just go high school. You got the high school guys, and then you have the all-stars of high school go to college, right? And then you have the all-stars from there that go to the NBA. So you have this pyramid of guys that keep getting better and better. Obviously, basketball is a little more wider than like football and baseball, right? So in terms of Europe and stuff, but your competition continues to increase every year, and they say it's like 1% of all of kids who play college basketball, football, whatever, go to the pros, if that. So he's played well. He's getting better. He's only a sophomore. He's been thrown into the fire. Unbelievable lettuce on top of that head, man. You know what I mean? So he's a good kid, man. Like, I've really enjoyed watching him mature this year. Yeah, you take a step forward and maybe take a step back here or there, but the last 4 or 5 games, he's, like Fiend said, I think he's shooting like 21 of 24, like 93%. And then you add in the free throws that he's making, and then Pharaoh is throwing in free throws too. I mean, that is a huge. You can't put a price on that, because then if they start making the free throws, teams are like, oh, well, I mean, we can't foul him anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, you could, but he's progressed, and he's been outstanding the last 4 games.
When we needed him, for sure. When we needed him. All right, Fiend. Let's take a quick little break, guys. We've gone through a lot of different topics already. And we're about to get into the Mountain West bigger picture type of stuff, right? I think we need to do that, seeing as what's coming up next. But right now, we'll take the time just to remind you guys, the NIL shop, sonsofmontezuma.com. You can pick out all your different favorite items here. We got a 15% off deal using the promo code MONTY, Monty. Of course, you've got different headwear, men's and women's stuff, and of course, our John and Jim collaboration. All the proceeds go towards the Mesa Foundation, so you definitely want to check that out. Had a couple of them out yesterday for senior night that were wearing that white shirt, so definitely want to continue to support Mesa Foundation, doing some great work. So definitely check that out, guys. 15% off using the promo code MONTY. All right, my advertisement is done. Fiend, it's a segment that I really enjoyed last time. Fenalytics with one SD Sports Fiend. What do you got for us this week?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about the bubble and being on the bubble with the Aztecs. I mean, if you look at bracket matrix, we have slipped down to the 11th seed now. There are some potential bid stealers out there that we have to watch out for. Particularly, I would say in the Atlantic 10, VCU is the favorite, and they're right around our seed line. And then other conferences where there could be a potential bid stealer. Look at the ACC. They're probably only going to get 3 teams in the tournament. Obviously, Duke is a powerhouse, so they should win that tournament. But if a team knocks them off, there's a likelihood that it could be a bid stealer. The other one is, let's see here. So, well, the Mountain West, I would say, is another one potentially. You look at a team like Colorado State, who I don't think has any chance of getting into the NCAA tournaments because of a poor non-conference schedule. Actually, it wasn't bad. It's just they didn't pick any wins during non-conference. Most of their wins have come during the conference, and so a team like that playing their best basketball, 2 seed, they could very well easily beat Utah State in the semis and get to the final and upset one of us, whether that's New Mexico or us or Boise. So they're a potential bid stealer, and the issue that we have to worry about is how many teams does the NCAA tournament, how many teams from the Mountain West are they going to let in? So if there is a CSU that sneaks into the tournament, does that bump maybe the third team out of the tournament? Would that be us? Would that, I'm not sure we're going to get 4 teams in the tournament. I do think that if we win against Boise, I feel like that is a game that we should be in the tournament because our non-conference schedule was the best of any of the teams in the Mountain West. We have quality wins over Creighton and Houston, and our non-conference schedule, I think, was the toughest in the league. So I think this is a win and you're in. I'll feel a lot better about being in the tournament if we beat Boise. If we don't beat them, I will be sweating it out on Selection Sunday. The hope is then we would probably sneak in as a first 4, which, hey, we'll take it, just a dance this year. But we'll see. Last year, the tournament committee, they sent a message to the Mountain West that beating up on your own conference was not going to get you a high seed. And a lot of those teams like Nevada and Colorado State and Boise, Utah State, they all got dropped down a couple of seed lines because of their non-conference schedule. They won, but they didn't have a strong non-conference schedule. We finished 5th last year, and we're a 5 seed. We were the highest seed in the Mountain West. So I think having that strong non-conference again and wins over quality teams, that's in our favor. I'd like to say that we're currently in the field right now. My head tells me that, but will it make me sleep easier at night? No way. Got to get this win on Thursday. I'll feel a lot better about it. And obviously you want to take it all the way. It's win, 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 cut down nets from here on out.
That's what we do. That's what we do. Thanks again, Quinn. He says, meant to word it, I'm rooting hard for y'all to make the NCAA tournament. I think y'all beat Boise. You're gonna beat New Mexico. I think y'all would be a lock if we beat New Mexico. But I agree with that. And he'd love to come out for a game for sure, Quinn, anytime.
So
go ahead, Mike.
Do you think if we lose to Boise, say we lose, are we out, do you think?
I don't think we're necessarily out. I think a lot depends on if there's bid stealers or not. There is a chance where Boise could beat us and they would still get left out because I think our non-conference is better, and we've beaten them twice in the regular season. And if you read the piece by Ziegler that came out today, the 3 thoughts, I mean, he said that most of the committee usually has their minds made up of who's in the tournament and who isn't by the conference tournaments. And so the conference tournaments don't have as much influence. But as a fan, as someone who's looking at, bracket matrix, and we're a couple of spots from the cut line, it's not going to make me sleep better at night unless we get a win against Boise. Then I'll feel a lot better about our chances of getting in the NCAA tournament. And you'd like to stay away from the first 4 in Dayton because that's a quick turnaround from going Saturday at the Mountain West Championships. If you play, on let's say, so if we get knocked out like on Thursday, then you got to fly to Dayton, and then if you win that game, then you got to turn around and go to whatever site they choose for you to go to. So it's tough to get, to win out of that first 4 and advance. So I'd rather stay out of it, but we'll see. I'll take any type of bid. As long as it's an NCAA tournament bid, I'll take it.
So again, just to kind of show everybody the bracket and to, obviously put the basic information out there. I mean, the Aztecs do play Thursday, 2:30 p.m. And we'll be playing Boise State for the third time this season. It's going to be a difficult matchup to beat a team 3 times. I mean, Dutcher, that's the main thing he's focused on, right? I read the same article, and he doesn't get too much into all the brackets and the bracketology, all this stuff, right? He has no time and energy to devote to that stuff. He just got to take it a game at a time, focus on his team. And without Magoon, that's a whole nother thing to get into. I mean, is he going to be ready for this game against Boise? I know what we're saying. The bracket, may not be as significant as the out-of-conference schedule, our out-of-conference schedule has been, which is great. That's phenomenal. I'm just concerned with a team, say, like Colorado State, who is absolutely on fire right now, took down Utah State, took down Boise State, and they're the number 2 seed all of a sudden. If they continue on their hot streak, I mean, there's so many variables that we could slip up if we don't win this game against Boise State. You don't want to put fate into the hands of a hot team like Colorado State. If they run through the rest of this thing and they're the ones raising up that trophy at the end of Saturday, well, then that's a bid stealer within your own conference, because I just don't, like you said, Fiend, I don't think we're getting 4 in. 3 is probably a stretch. So you just really got to at least take care of business on Thursday against Boise. And that's not going to be easy, man.
Like it just all goes back to just worry about you and win your games. Mm-hmm. Like it just shows you, like, is how I feel about this. When you have to rely on other people, it gets tough. Just rely on yourself. And if you focus on what you need to do and play how you can play and just compete, more often than not, it's going to work out for you, right? But you're still facing another team that's trying to do the same thing as us. Boise has. We have a sense of urgency, but the urgency on Boise's side is probably more than us, because they know they're not in, right? So you have a team that you've beaten twice, thumped twice. Mm-hmm. They get a rematch against you. I believe we've had. I think we're 5-0 in the quarterfinals against teams we beat twice in a season. I think is, if memory serves. So when we play them a third time in the quarterfinals, we won all 5. Whoever that team is, we played in the quarterfinals in history, right? So you got to understand that it's never going to be a walk in the park. You don't ever underestimate your opponent, because you will get beat. It doesn't matter who you are, because this is the epitome of you win or you're out. You're going home. I think the most we'll get is 3, if that. I think New Mexico's probably already in, to be perfectly honest with you, right? So Colorado State, like you said, Fiend, like they're not in. But if they go and win it, I don't know how that affects us. But then why don't rely on other people to accomplish your goal. Other teams, worry about your team. You focus on what you need to win, and it just shows you one win here, one win there is massive, and it changes the whole landscape of the opportunity to get in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you never want to put yourself in a situation where another team could just absolutely shoot lights out and send you home, and then you don't have a shot to get in the NCAA tournament. I mean, we definitely would have, I think, this bid locked up had we won at UNLV. But hey, look, Julian Rishwain went off on us. They had a couple guys. They shot 50% from 3-point range. They're not that great of a 3-point shooting team. So you never want to put it in a situation where if the other team gets hot, you're in trouble. So we'll see. I mean, I'm hopeful that. I think this is a good matchup for us, but we'll just see. Boise is going to have their backs against the wall, and Dagenhart is a senior. Stanley is a senior. I think Cardenas is a senior too. I mean, those guys, they don't want to go out, with a loss in the quarterfinal at the Mountain West tournament in their last game, and then possibly playing in the NIT. They want to get back to the big dance. That's why they came back to Boise. So you better believe we're going to get their best shot on Thursday.
It's going to be a great game. I mean, you know what I'm excited about? To hang out with you guys. You know what I mean? Fiend says he's going to sleep well if they beat Boise, but knowing I'm in a hotel or two down the street, I don't know if he's going to be comfortable with that. He might have to have security up front. You know what I mean? But this is what it's all about. The regular season, like I talked about, you got another game after that. But this, let's just put it where it is. Like, we are guaranteed one more game. Everything else of that is we have nobody has any clue except the NCAA tournament, right? You don't know what's going to come after this game. This could be your last game in an Aztec uniform as a senior. I don't think it will. I think there will be another game somewhere, but like, you have to look at it like, hey man, this could be it for us, dude. That's how you have to play. You have to play with your hair on fire. You know what I mean? If I had any.
Our good friend Bill, will we hear the Fiend whistle? Will we hear the Fiend whistle in the Mountain West tournament in Vegas? I think that's a given, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much a given. I mean, I'll blow it till I get kicked out. So anything I can do to give the Aztecs a home court advantage, I'm gonna do my best.
I'm just glad you're gonna be sitting on the other side of the stadium.
Just bring some earplugs if you're around me.
Guys, I don't know if this is gonna work out or not. I got a message the other day. I was very shocked and surprised. I mean, for some of you guys who have been watching us or listening to the Sons of Montezuma podcast for any length of time, back in the days, you might recognize who this is, but I'm gonna play it. I don't know if this is gonna work. Tell me if you guys can hear this and if you guys recognize who this is.
What's up, Sons of Monty? This is Barry from La Mesa.
Could you get that?
Yeah.
Could you get that?
Barry from La Mesa.
Yeah, for those of you who know Barry from La Mesa, Barry, you can't forget about Barry, man. It's been a while. He's been, I think they banned him from Viejas for a little bit. You know, he's sneaking little bottles of Jack in the arena and smoking weed in the restroom, sending us voicemails from the Viejas restrooms and stuff. So I think they got a hold of him and kicked him out. But he had some. I have no idea. We'll have to see. He's got some. What do you think about this, Fiend?
Hey, what up, Sons?
Let's see.
I want to get your thoughts on the takes from podcast host and more on Twitter, Tom Moser. All right. First, he said 9 of 11 Mountain West schools would rather have a regular season championship than a Sweet 16. Absolutely insane take. And the second, on Tyson Degenhart, quote, "He is for certain one of the best players in Mountain West Conference history." And when I pressed him, said, he's top 25, whether you like it or not. Another absolutely brain dead take. Unlike him and Lobo fans, I will shut up and listen. Thanks.
Little shots fired at the Lobo fans. I love it. Barry, appreciate that, man. Call it anytime. You let us know. What do you got to say about that, Fiend? We're at the game, so I didn't hear that from.
I remember that tweet from was it Mosier? Is it Tom Mosier?
Yeah.
He. I think it's a ridiculous take. I think any team in the Mountain West would choose a Sweet 16 over a conference championship. Conference championships are great. They're wonderful. You get to hang a banner. It's forever. It's just the Sweet 16 is such to get there. It's so hard to do. A lot of programs. There's several programs that have never done it in the Mountain West. There's several that have not been there in a very long time. So I certainly would take a Sweet 16. I do not agree with that take at all.
Especially the conference is basically being blown up. So it's like, okay, you're gonna have a banner for a conference that's gonna be blown up. Like, come on. All right. I don't know about this Degenhart stuff. I mean, Degenhart, when I heard that, like, Degenhart is a fine player. He's absolutely. He's a baller for Boise, and that's who we got on Thursday. We shut him down that first game to his worst performance in college ever. Second game, much better, but we still pulled the victory off. Still didn't let him get completely wild. Is third time going to be a charm, man? I mean, how do you feel about Degenhart on the pantheon of Mountain West all-timers? I don't know about that.
Well, he's 10th all time in, I guess, scoring, is it? But he, Anthony Dremick from Boise State is, I think, ahead of him. with 1,942. He'll probably actually, well, I don't know if he'll pass Dremek in the next game, but yeah, if they get to the postseason, he will definitely. But no, he's definitely, you got to consider him like maybe top 10 because he's been starting for 4 years. Now, have there been better players that have played like 1 or 2 years? Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, he's been pretty solid for 4 years as a Bronco, and so we have had his number this year, and that's what kind of scares me because he's a good player, and when he shot threes against us, and he had a lot of open looks that he just missed, and I don't know. We'll see. If he misses those again. I think with this game, my thought is that what Boise is going to do, they shot a lot of threes against us, probably too many threes. Just like I hate us shooting 33s, I think they shot about 30 against us. And what they hit like 25% or something like that. I mean, really not a good percentage. But I think that they did that because they had difficulty getting shots in the paint because of Goon. And with the potential of Goon not being in there, I think the strategy for Boise, and this is what I would do if I were Leon Rice, is to attack the paint and really try to get to the rim and get fouled and get points in a slugfest instead of shooting threes. And I think Degenhart, with his size, he has some good post game that he can do that. And because we do so much switching on, or with small guards that wind up on, I think they'll try to post up more. And so that is the strategy that I would use if I were in their situation. And we'll just see. I mean, if Goon plays, and it's huge advantage for us. But if he's out, our bigs are going to really need to step up. Guys like Farrell Compton, who got a couple blocks yesterday, DeMarshe Johnson got a couple of blocks. Like, our bigs are going to have to be huge in this game because Boise did not shoot well at the rim against us in a combined 2 games, and they did not shoot well from 3-point range. And when you don't score like that, you put yourself in a situation that's a recipe for a loss. So we'll see. It's going to be a tough game. I don't expect it to be like the previous 2 games. I think it's going to be a lot closer. And I expect Degenhart to really go out and really try to have his best game because, like I said, he doesn't want to go out as a senior, with his last conference tournament losing in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, you cannot be considered one of the top players if you do not win this game. This game on Thursday. Can't happen. Won't happen. So what's the deal with Magoon? A quote from Coach Dutcher says he hasn't done anything in 2 weeks, so we have to start getting him in game shape and see how it responds when he starts doing extra stuff. It all depends on what the rehab is like. Every day is a new day of rehab. So best guess, hey, I don't know. Ziegler says 50-50. I think that's kind of where we all need to kind of put our mind at, whether he's going to be there on Thursday or not. It's a lot to risk, but if he's medically cleared and if he's feeling good, it's been enough time. I think that if he feels comfortable to get out there, it's going to be a fun one. Either way, this team has the ability to take down Boise. They've proven it. They've shown that they can beat the best in this conference if they're playing the right way, if they're playing team ball, if they're playing team defense, like what you're saying, Fiend. Degenhart's he's gonna go after it, so they're gonna have to be prepared to play that team defense, not having Magoon down there.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I look at with Magoon is, say he comes back Thursday and say we win, you gotta play Friday. Say we win Friday, you gotta play Saturday. You know what I mean? So I know he only missed like 5 games, but still, is his cardio there? Is his physio there? Is he able to? He's not going to play all game. We know that, but can you? Even the guys who are healthy, 3 games in 3 days is a lot on your body. So
that's a great point. That's a great point.
Do you roll the dice and say we're gonna take our chances without you on Thursday, hoping that we win, and then we need you on Friday? That's something that I'm sure you have to take into account, because I know he wants to play. I know we want him to play. I know the coaches want them to play, but the logistics and the logical side of it is, well, hold on now. We got 2:30 on Thursday, and then I don't know if it would be necessarily 6:30 or 9. I think it's 6:30 right on Friday because New Mexico is 1, we're 4, so we would get them. They would get the early time slot, and then 3:00. That's a lot on your body, man. Even for kids at that age, that peak physicality.
Yeah.
So that is going to it's and then a knee problem with a guy who's that tall is not. We'll see what happens. They said on the telecast that he's been shooting, he's been doing some stuff. So he has been doing some stuff. I know,
he launched a 3 from half court before the game.
So, yeah, but again, the X factor too is the 3 games in 3 days. You also are playing a Boise State team that knows if they don't win this game, they're done. They know they have to win the tournament to get into the tournament, right? So you have an extra, and Degenhardt doesn't want to have the last game be that. I think Degenhardt's a great player. I don't know it's the whole how do you quantify your list of the top players in Mountain West history? Same thing with the 3, my 3 players tonight. There's the X factor of Wett's only played 1 year. So it's like comparing running backs from different generations. It's tough to do. And everybody's list is everybody's list. So you could, that's why sports is interesting, because you can always have an argument for or against any kind of list you put together for the most part. You know what I mean?
That's great stuff, man. Good stuff to all consider.
Yeah, and I think if he does come back, it's going to be limited minutes. I mean, how many minutes do you think he's going to get if he comes back? It's probably only going to be 10 minutes, maybe in a game, I would think. I don't think he's going to play full 20, 25, 30 minutes like his first game back. No way.
No. Well, it'll be a tough decision to make for the coaching staff, for the training staff, and of course for Magoon himself personally. Definitely just want to see him healthy, no matter what the situation is. And as we honored the seniors, I think it provides a great example to these young guys. And hey, guys like a Wayne McKinney, like a Ferrari, JCJ, these guys playing the bulk of the minutes. They've only been here for 1 year, and that's it, right? None of those 3 guys have any eligibility left or an opportunity to play for the Aztecs. So I'm sure young guys like Magoon sitting there watching that. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to get to that point where he's having a senior night, to be perfectly honest with you. But if he does, or just looking at those examples, hopefully that plants a seed in his mind that, hey, there's more opportunities. There's more opportunities. I want him to be out there only if he feels he's comfortable. So
yeah, I will say this about and I agree with you 100%. I mean, I don't think that Dutcher is going to sacrifice a player's health for winning. He's always going to err on the side of caution, and he wants them to be healthy because he knows these kids got bright futures ahead of them. So you don't want to have sacrifice short-term success for a long-term problem. So I mean, if he's not ready to go, he's not ready to go. Boise State, interesting. When I think about like who's going to have the big fan base there on Thursday, when they lost to Colorado State, did you hear what their fans were chanting?
No,
they were chanting NIT will be back next week. Yeah, over and over and from the stands. So that makes me wonder how many fans from Boise are going to come to Las Vegas. I mean,
not on a Thursday.
You remember a couple years ago, and I think I shared that photo on X, where it was like the entire show section at the Thomas and Mack, and there was like one Boise State fan in the middle of them. And that's generally how it's been. I don't think they travel as well as New Mexico. Utah State, their fans travel pretty well, especially their student section. But I think we're going to have a home court advantage there at the Thomas and Mack. And I think that could play a huge factor in the outcome of the game, having that momentum, having because I saw it firsthand when I was there, for Creighton and Houston and Oregon. I mean, having that Aztec faithful cheering you on in Vegas, it means a lot. And I'm really excited to see how many of our fans are able to get out there on Thursday. And, I think that could be a real plus in our favor.
It's tough because they got hot, Boise. They got hot for a little minute, but then you lose that last game and knowing you needed that one. Now you pretty much got to win the whole thing, to be brutally honest. And I agree with you, man. I don't think on a Thursday, I don't think they're going to bring that many fans. If they win 2 games and they're playing in that championship Saturday, then you're going to see an influx of, potato head fans running in. But I don't think they're going to go out of their way to make that travel. Not like we will. But hey, that's a good point. Got to be there. If you're an Aztecs fan, this is a yearly tradition for us. This is like, what Mike, did you say this was like my Comic-Con or something like that, dude? I love this Mountain West tournament, man. I love it. I wouldn't miss it.
And that's a great point, Fiend, because that's something that you watch all the games. I don't. So the fact that, you caught that's an interesting dynamic of if they're chanting NIT, they're like, well, why would we go to Vegas if they're just going to come back home and play? Vegas is Vegas, but I think a lot of them are like Mormon up there in Boise, right? So they're not really going to Vegas to party and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Right. So, I think there's a big Mormon population up there, right? I mean, we love the Mormons, you know what I mean? Not all of them, but some of them,
More Dairy Queen.
Yeah. I don't by the way, I love Dairy Queen. We should do a top, like your Blizzard. What's your Blizzard order, right? That's, to me, that's an important
top 3 toppings on your
no, I just think you go your 3 things that you would put in the Blizzard in that situation. You know what I mean? But you have, it's like when you get married or you're dating someone, you have to understand, do they like it hot? Do they like it cold? Are they morning person or evening person? You know what I mean? You justify your friendships with you have a different taste, but Dairy, by the way, what I'm saying is Dairy Queen is underestimated. So let's not give them the benefit of that, right? You know what I mean? That's the best. So, but I think that's a great thought process. Is they're screaming NIT at the home game? Why everybody would probably be like, why would we miss work and take a weekend to go down there? And they probably think the answer is no. Soccer 96. I'm not okay. There's something going on with me today. So. So they're not going to do that because it's like, well, why are we going to go down there for one day and come back? You know what I mean? So, I like that, dude. That's in-depth analysis that I never thought about. I love that.
Fenalytics and hard hitting
and snake piss.
And snake piss.
It's been a weekend. So one of my wife's friends was over. She's like, say you're mentally unbalanced or something like that. And I go, dude, I'm like, that's like a normal day for me. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
This is a Sunday afternoon.
So. But again, I think it goes down to win your games. Don't allow other people to dictate your future. And you're gonna be okay. And this team is, I think, peaking at the right time. Pharaoh has just looked like a monster. They called him a junkyard dog on the game the other night, and I think that's a great analogy. He's just ferocious, and when he goes to the rim and just asserts his presence there, that's a game changer. And I think him and Heidi, JCJ have stepped it up. Obviously, JCJ is more of a perimeter guy than an inside guy, but if you have Pharaoh and Heidi down there, and they're continuing to get better and playing how they're playing, that's a massive advantage for us. And
the guys are finding them too.
Yeah,
Boyd, Bird, a lot of I'm not gonna totally show the comment on there. I see in the chat, people questioning Bird and dude, he does so much though. It's really nice to see him, not completely going out there hunting shots. Last night, right? He's setting up his teammates. He's getting them easy dunks, easy finishes. And Pharaoh is a tremendous finisher at the rim. You saw DeMarche just jamming things, slamming, doing things. Everybody's playing confident because your guys are getting you the ball in great positions, in high percentage shot positions. So Boyd, Bird, BJ, those guys are so key. You can't underestimate their ability to be playmakers, and that's what we're gonna need in this game. That's how Miles, JCJ, and Pharaoh are going to really take their game up, while Magoon is probably not, or 50-50, right? So
Yeah,
Is that
after the Colorado State game, I mean, I said on the podcast, I need Pharaoh to start being a dog,
Yeah.
and he's been a junkyard dog, and it's wonderful to see that breakout. So someone's listening, and we just need him to continue that mentality, man. He, with that body that he has, if he has that mentality, that swagger, that sort of controlled anger, he's intimidating, and he can be really, really solid for us these couple games that we don't have Goon playing for us, if he is out, if he is indeed out. So just love the way that Pharaoh's playing, and the guys are hitting free throws too, which is great. I mean, more free throws than they were before. So it shows that, you know, they're working on the free throws, they're working at getting better, and they're showing it. So I'm really excited about, you know, to see him in his hometown in Vegas and what he can do against, you know, a pretty good Boise front line with Stanley and some of the other guys. So it's going to be exciting.
Got to bring that same energy he brought against New Mexico when he lined up across Snell.
Yeah.
You got to bring that same energy as a freshman big man, especially as a freshman big man. You just bring that energy, bring that motor, and you'll make some things happen. The shots will come. It'll come. You know, your game offensively, it'll come. Guys, let's get into the comments, because we got a lot of comments here just to breeze through. I know we're getting past this 1 hour mark. Appreciate you guys all joining the stream. Of course, hit that like and subscribe button before you do anything further. We're gonna try and bring some more live streams out there in Vegas while we're at the tournament. Hopefully, we're there for a long stay, so we can do some more creative things and kind of show you guys at home, whether you're at work, you know, at your computer watching the game or whatever. We're gonna try to do some fun things for you guys pre-game and maybe post-game. We'll see. Curtis earlier in the chat says teams we've lost to were heavy on seniors: New Mexico, Utah State, UNLV, Colorado State. Good points there. The majority of the conference, they're playing seniors, they're playing upperclassmen, and we got young guys dipping in there and making contributions and learning on the job. Oh, let's see what else we got in here. I showed it earlier on. Helica said it is the year of the snake. It is the year of the snake.
Yeah. Hey, synergy. By the way, real quick, I kind of find this hard to believe, but Miles Bird's first double-double of his career was Tuesday against UNLV. I mean, he stuffs the stat sheet. He stuffs the stat sheet, right? And like he sprays it.
He sprays it all over. Yes. He sprays it all over like the snake piss. It's just all over the place.
Here's the scary thing with that. He hasn't even reached his potential yet.
No.
He hasn't even reached his potential, and he is doing what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, whoa, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, whoa.
Like, yeah, whoa. And I don't think Snake's allowed to travel. I think it's against probation. I don't think he's allowed to go to another state. Just to make a lot of Snake situation going on here today, right? And then you know.
Hey, New Mexico fan Mr. Chavez says us Lobo fans are freaking good people. He's just salty. I think he's talking about La Mesa, Barry and La Mesa. Yeah, you guys are good people. You still like corn in your salsa though, so I wouldn't say too good. Okay.
Everybody's, you know what, man? Every fan base has that small percentage of douches. Everyone's got it. We got it. You know what I mean? Everybody's got it.
You guys are looking at three of us, so you're on the screen.
Yeah,
so,
the majority. Well, two of us technically. Hey, this is a win for me because my camera came out. So it's you two guys that are looking at it. Nobody knows what I'm like. Everybody's worried about me, right? I'm gonna get like a welfare check from CPS or something like this. But everybody's pretty cool, man. You know what I mean? Like there's always everybody remembers the bad, but most of the fan bases are great. You know what I mean? They just want to see their team win and have fun, especially in Vegas. And but you know, you always have a few bad apples, right? So
I love our fans. I love our fans. I will say that. Thank you guys for everybody stopping me yesterday at the game, last night at the game, saying hello. Got to give a shout out, Sarah. Really appreciated you mentioning your listener. That was really, really cool. And of course, I didn't get a chance to say hello to Deb and Stu. They made the trip down. Didn't get a chance to see them. But you know, they're day ones. They're real ones. Appreciate appreciate their support. Steve Diego says, which Mountain West Conference team do you guys feel could go the furthest in the NCAA tournament? I mean, aside from San Diego State, right? I mean, I think this team has proven, the Aztecs have proven they can hang with the best in the nation. Houston is
Be the one seed.
That's the big one. But other than the Aztecs, I don't know. I mean, New Mexico, they've got the makings with Dent, who has my vote for, not that it matters, but my personal vote. I think he's the player of the year for Mountain West. Absolutely. Best team.
Yeah, I agree.
He's the one who stirs the drink. He's the one who gets that thing going. I mean, boy, he put how many points against us, Nobody else did squat, but he did. So what do you think, Fiend? Who do you got? Who do you got in the Mountain West?
Oh, yeah, it would definitely have to be Dent. I think he is. Every time I see him in transition, I'm like, that's a bucket.
Yeah.
And it is. Every time he gets the ball in transition.
What about team? Good. What about team going furthest other than San Diego State?
Yeah, I would say New Mexico. Utah State, I just don't know. They're kind of up and down. I really like New Mexico because they have a great point guard. And they have great guards. They have a glue guy in True Washington, who's, I think, a fantastic defender. I mean, he was pissing me off with all the tips that he was getting and steals that he was getting when he was guarding our guys. And he's a lockdown defender. And then having a guy like Nelly Jr. Joseph in the middle, who's so strong, can post up, get rebounds, kind of control the paint. And they've got so many different, players that can contribute. They got that freshman Milicevic or whatever. He's really coming on, hitting threes. Borovicinen's, great player. They're really, really tough team. They're really tough. And I think whoever they match up with, it's going to be, they should win. If they're like a 9 seed or 8 seed, they should win the 8-9 matchup. And then who knows, they go up against a 1 seed, you're going to get some good 1 seeds. I mean, there's, whether it's Auburn or Houston or Duke, I don't know if I would take them over Duke, but they might be able to give some of those teams a run.
Just to show, I like Feminist Stacy's comment. March Madness is all about getting there as often as possible, and eventually you break through like the Aztecs. Can't get into the tourney 2 times every decade and wonder why you don't make deep runs. I mean, yeah, you could be a Cinderella, in any of these Mountain West teams that if they were to make a run, they'd be considered Cinderellas. I mean, they haven't put forth a national level resume that would warrant anything other than that. New Mexico, they got the history, right? But you got to prove it. You got to prove it in March. You got to do it.
New Mexico again, huh?
Mm-hmm. I think that comment was directed at New Mexico, right? I mean, you can't get in there,
no,
2 times every decade. Oh boy! Like the ladies tournament has already begun. Some of the lower teams started today. The women's team will be playing, I believe, tomorrow, right?
I believe so. Yeah, the quarterfinals, right?
We saw our friend Sarah.
2:30 tomorrow gets
in the chat.
They're playing New Mexico. Fiend, who are you going to be rooting for?
Oh, come on now. We are the 4th seed.
That's a dumb
fourth seed. 4th seed in that bracket too. 4th seed in that bracket too. Well, I will be getting in Wednesday evening, so I'm hoping we're playing for something there that night, so I could go straight to the game. Let's go, ladies! Pulling for you.
If the women win Monday, they play Tuesday, right? Is it Monday and Wednesday's the championship game? Is that how
I believe so? Yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty awesome. Both games will be 2:30 tomorrow for the women's team, and then 2:30 on Thursday for the men's team. So thank you, Sarah. You're gonna have to send me some photos of all the things you are seeing and doing down there. Of course, everybody knows Fembone, amazing pet band that she is. Let's see. What else? What did I miss any other comments in here that you guys wanted to address? Let's see. Oh, what is this? What is Oh, well,
over at the
I'm gonna
Ocean
be.
One.
Oh, shut down. A lot of places in Vegas been shutting down, man. I'm interested to see what's left.
That's a shocker that place shut down.
Well, Sarah thinks the ladies are gonna win the whole
That'd be awesome, dude.
dang thing.
How about we both win it? How would the women win it and the men win it this year? Has that ever happened? I don't think so, right?
Not for us. I think somebody else maybe. But anyways, guys, I'm excited about it. Really excited about this this year. I know it's not a typical year. According to Mike, it's a typical year, but I know it has its wrinkles, right? I don't think a lot of people are going there. They're going there hopeful, but we're not one of the top seeds like last year. So last year we were in the championship game. This year it could happen again. Let's make it happen. Be there, be loud. Hopefully we'll be out there doing some live streaming in and around the strip or closer to the arena. So stay tuned to our social media. We'll let you guys know where we will be at. We'll be pre-gaming and all that stuff, and hopefully we'll be able to get to know some more Aztecs fans all over the place. So looking forward to it, guys. Thank you for joining. Mike, get your camera fixed so we can see your lovely face. Fiend, appreciate your Fenalytics and your report. And until next time, guys, everybody have a safe night. Oh, daylight saving time is kicking my butt. Until next time, guys, sonsofmontezuma.com. Go Aztecs. Beat Boise on Thursday.
It's win-win-win. Cut down nets. Let's go Aztecs. See y'all on Thursday. Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
See you guys.